Okay, so I want to talk to you about two TV shows in particular. The first one is NCIS Los Angeles, and the second one is The Resident. Two different networks, same bullcrap message, okay? Hollywood is already attempting to brainwash us. And as I said in previous videos, this is the narrative, okay? They're talking about Black Lives Matter, Antifa, this whole charade, this whole past year about how they rioted in the streets. By the way, I did predict this. If you've seen my video about a year ago, I called this out and I said this was going to happen, and it did. But needless to say, we're past that point. But now what they're trying to do is they're trying to say that, obviously, that these were peaceful demonstrations as our cities burned to the ground. So one of the things they're trying to say is that black people are obviously been the victims of racism for so long now, and that is not true. Prior to this, in fact, and I've been around so long that I've seen racism both ways, against whites and against blacks. But we were at a point where, racism really it's been there, but not quite as bad as it's been in the 60s. We've progressed quite a bit of ways until they brought it to they tried to create something that was really not there. And so all this was done to win the election. But again, neither here nor there. I want to talk about these two television shows. First of all, the person, LL Cool J, and really disappointed in this guy because he's a Queens guy, like me. I mean, this guy is a native New Yorker. And at one time, before all the internet stuff, before all the cell phones and all this, in the 70s and even in the 80s, if you were a New Yorker, and I'm not saying this just because I'm a New Yorker, but if you were a New Yorker and you traveled anywhere in the United States and somebody asked you, hey, where are you from? I noticed your accent. And you said, I'm from the city. And all you had to say is, I'm from the city. Everybody knew what you meant. There was only one city. And I don't mean to sound arrogant about that, but back then, there was really only one city referred to as the city in the United States, and that was New York City. And you were kind of proud to be from New York City. It was, quite frankly, the best city in the United States. As far as, that's how New Yorkers felt. And now, it's almost like you're ashamed to be from New York City. I mean, it's embarrassing, really. There are so many freaking idiots that live there. And the people that live there, I'll give you an example. There was a woman, a young girl, working in a bakery in my old neighborhood. She's making minimum wage, and she's from Michigan. Who the heck moves to New York to work in a bakery only to say you live in New York? It's ridiculous. But anyway, I digress. So back to this episode, NCIS Los Angeles. There's the character Sam Hanna, who's played by LL Cool J, and he's in this scene where they're working with some white agents, and I forget the white agents. They're from another agency. I don't know if they was FBI or what are the, but they were law enforcement of some nature. They referred to Sam Hanna and this other FBI agent that's working with NCIS, who's also black. They referred to them as urban. So Sam Hanna turns to the other agent and says, oh, yeah, right, urban. Like, that's another name for black. And I was like, what the heck does that mean? Urban doesn't mean black. And that's where I was really insulted. And, I was really disgusted almost. I'm urban. I've always been urban, and I'm white. Italian, actually. I don't consider myself white. I'm Italian and Irish. My skin is dark. In the summer, I get so tan that I'm often confused for Latino because Italians, quite frankly, get darker than Latinos in many instances. But again, neither here nor there. I don't know when LL Cool J lost his way. I mean, I would think a New York guy would stand up to the Hollywood bullshit. Excuse me, I'm sorry for the language. The Hollywood bullcrap. It's just, when at some point in your life, do you get handed a script? Do you say, you know what, I'm not reading this because it goes against my grain. It's not who I am. It's not what I believe. An urban guy is not a black guy. An urban guy is a guy who grew up in the streets, who knows the streets, who is from the city. So, LL Cool J, I'm not a fan anymore. You lost my respect. Okay? I thought you were better than that. So, now to the second TV show, The Resident. Another guy. The guy who played Theo, and I'm sorry, I don't know your real name, but you were Dr. Huxtable's son on his show. Now, I understand how you lost your way. Bill Cosby, I'm sure he's raped many women. I don't know if you saw any of that. Maybe he did it behind the scenes, but on the set, I'm sure he's assaulted plenty of women. And we all know how that turned out. Many white, many black, but, a preponderance of them were white that he raped. And so whether your personal feelings got the best of you, I'm sorry for that, but you too obviously lost your way. In that scene in the show, The Resident, there's a mother-daughter that come into the hospital and they are treated for some kind of heart condition. And this heart condition is a result, get this, is a result of some kind of trigger from a tear gas that they were hit with during a demonstration in Minneapolis. No, it was part of a fire that they lit in real life. So they're taking a real life situation and saying they got hit with tear gas and got this suspected real life illness from. I mean, give me a break. Come on. Are people this stupid? Do you think people are that stupid? What about the people in Minneapolis? Do you think you lost them as viewers? How about the rest of the country? I'm sure the people of Minneapolis are freaking really offended by this episode. Do you think they're morons? How about the people in Minneapolis that lost their businesses to the Black Lives Matter people and Antifa that went in, stole all their goods, burnt their businesses down to the ground? I mean, I could even accept that these two, the mother and daughter, who were black, maybe they were black business owners. Maybe you could have wrote the story like that they were black business owners and got this mysterious illness from smoke inhalation from the fire that was set by the people that were protesting or rioting. Maybe that would have been a more believable piece of art that you could have written. I mean, What the hell is wrong with you people in Hollywood? Anyway, I've said enough. I mean, really, as Americans, how much more of this crap can we take? We need to start attacking people. That's it.